Hello everyone. My name is Maria, and it's an honor, a pleasure to be with you today in GatherVerse Summit Africa. Um, as Metaverse is evolving in our life and impacting every aspect in our life, it's crucial to discuss few points about how this will be impacting every perspective of our daily life and human future. So in my speech, I'll be discussing very new thing, or maybe you can say something that is not very exposed to the reality, or something that doesn't have now many implications, but in the future it will hopefully have great impact or great applications, we can say, and we can say better awareness about how Metaverse will be impacting our healthcare and how it will be evolving and changing the future of management of diseases and the relationship between patients and the pharmacists. So I'll be discussing a few things that is focused on Metaverse and pharmacy, and what implications, or we can say applications of metapharmacy that can have in the current and the future very soon. So first, to begin with, why Metaverse in pharmacy? How can Metaverse relate in pharmacy? Well, actually, pharmacy, we can say, has evolved from simply dispensing drugs and selling medicine to a more service-based model, where pharmacists counsel patients on how they can prevent diseases and manage them. So we can say trends now in healthcare are moving towards stronger emphasis on preventive medicine and healthier behavior. So pharmacist expertise can help to achieve these goals, and eventually the implementations of virtual reality and metapharmacy for patient counseling and healthcare can help pharmacists in serving this function and having better application of patient counseling. So what are other applications that we can say of implementations of pharmacy in a wider scope rather than just patient counseling service? So how we can say Metaverse will be changing the pharmaceutical perspectives or pharmaceutical models in our lives. So despite that, there are many advanced computer-based models and many approaches that are used currently in drug design and discovery, but also there will be many advantages of distinguished advantages of virtual reality in discovering new leads of drugs and helping identifying these drugs throughout the databases that we have. So this will help includes more 3D view of molecular structures and targets, and this will eventually leads to allow researchers to observe the dynamics of protein structures, configurations, while they focus on ligand binding sites and other areas of other areas of their interest. So virtual reality can actually not only serve as identifying tool for drugs and lead compounds, but also it can be serving as an educational tool that helps students and healthcare professionals to understand the dynamics of molecules, and also the to facilitate the understanding of these information and understanding of the clinical data and transforming it in a better way to the public. So what are other applications that we can see in metapharmacy, and what we can see that has a wider perspectives, or we can say evolving in the patient's service. So a very important thing, or we can say a very advanced way of thinking that pharmacy has is the avatars. So imagine that you as a patient, like for example, we have a patient, and this patient has diabetes, and he doesn't have at the moment the access to a doctor or the pharmacy because he is experiencing an urgent condition, and he cannot walk away to the pharmacy. So if we had the chance to build that kind of environment where we can have a meta space, and in this meta space we have a meta pharmacy, and this pharmacy has avatars and digital twins to the patients, where pharmacists and patients can interact together to understand the patient's situation and health conditions, and measure his blood glucose and see what he is actually now suffering from. So in this way, we will be helping the patient experience a better way of service, and he will not be able to suffer anymore from attacks, or we can say urgent conditions that he cannot deal with because of the virtual environment that we build for this patient. So digital twins can be considered as part of this meta environment that will be helping in advancing our view of how we can build the service to the patient and advocate for the patient in the future. So it will also not be the only approach for patients to just interact and simulate a better environment, but it will also help us to do some kind of testing to in the meta space. So imagine that we have the digital twins to our body organs. So instead of identifying the diseases or testing the disease, the chemicals on real humans or real organs in our real life, or even animals. So instead of that, we'll be doing this testing and all of these chemicals on the virtual world. And this will be helping a lot in reducing the kind of money that is spent on clinical trials and many expensive testing. And at the same time, it will be, of course, improving safety, and we will not be able to suffer from number of deaths that we have from the traditional testing models that we have in the clinical trials. And this will also be helping in reducing the economical danger that might some chemicals cause because of the of course the traditional testing that we can do in the reality. So imagine that how many advantages that we will get because of testing these chemicals and labs, and having them virtually implemented on virtual patients or virtual organs, which will be helping in identifying all elements that we can simulate. And of course, we can draw out conclusions of this testing, and we can see how much we can assure that these are correct or simulated 100% to the realities. So still that we don't have many implementations in pharmacy in the meta space, but still we also are discovering many approaches that we can design the future, very near future for patients throughout this headset, we can say, or even the experiencing the meta space with patients and communicating with him to improve the patient counseling experience. We will also need many large of trained pharmacists to do this experience and to be well acquired and aware of how they can interact with the virtual environment and virtual patients and do the same quality or have the same quality of the service that can be found on real world in real community pharmacies. So maybe I spoke in this presentation about community pharmacy more than speaking about pharmacy in general, but the wider scope of Metaverse will not be including only community pharmacy, but also every aspect of healthcare and patients situations. So this will include drug discovery and design modelings of drugs. It will include pharmaceutical business models. This is actually what the future needs to have. We need more business models that are acquired for health approaches, so we can improve health and at the same time have a reliable approach that can be designed and implemented in the real world, but still in the meta space. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation or my speech, and I hope that we can have more implementations in the meta pharmacy in the future, and hopefully we can meet next time in a new event where we can expand the awareness and the implementations of Metaverse in all aspects of our lives, including health and wellness and education, and also any other aspects that is possible. Thank you so much.